Well, good morning. This is Team 7's Module 5 Wall Street Journal discussion. We're going to be talking about the Boeing Company today. So just a quick overview of our outline for this morning. I'm going to introduce the article, and then Linda's going to talk about leadership versus management. Richard's going to dive into level 5 leadership and how it relates to the article. Kyle's going to talk about servant leadership. Raj, authentic leadership. I, interactive leadership. And then Joey's going to summarize everything and conclude for us. So the article that we chose was one leader sent Boeing into a hurricane. Landing it was the next guy's job. So just a quick overview of the Boeing Company. It was founded in 1916 as an airplane manufacturer, but has grown into the world's largest aerospace firm. So now they manufacture, design, and sell their own aircraft, rockets, satellites, all these aerospace craft. In 2017, they had $93.4 billion in revenue. They were ranked 27th in the U.S. Fortune 500 and 64th on Global 500. So they're a very successful, tenured, and large company. An introduction to the article, Boeing had about 9 years of success. In the early 2000s, they ran into some financial difficulties. They weren't really sure what direction the company was going to be, and they had issues there. So they really needed some organizational change and a new path forward. So they needed some disruptive leadership, and that's when Jim McNerney came in 2005 as their new CEO, and he made some heavily disruptive changes to the organization and also helped guide them through the 07-08 financial crash. And the article goes in to talk about how Dennis Muilenburg continued some of the reforms and then led the cultural change as well. We'll dive into details of this. So I'm going to turn it over to Linda to talk about management versus leadership.
All right, a primary characteristic of management is that management promotes ability and order within the existing organizational structure. This means that as a manager, you're responsible for duties such as ensuring suppliers are paid, customers are being invoiced, products are being serviced on time, and inventory is being monitored and reordered when necessary. A leader, on the other hand, involves three main aspects, which are people, influence, and goals. Leadership is defined as the ability to influence people toward the attainment of those goals. In the Boeing article, the former CEO, Jim McNerney, focused on a disruptive innovation method and managed the company without empathy for the employees. McNerney seemed to have a strong personality and went after technology and innovation with Boeing. He was focused on the current state of the organization and implementing procedures that would stabilize the company. When McNerney took control in 2005, Boeing was in a slump, and he was willing to do whatever and try a lot of new things to get the organization out of that slump. He did successfully get the company to their highest ever share price in 2015 before his retirement, suggesting that his method for managing was successful. In 2015 is when the current CEO, Dennis Muilenburg, took control and stabilized the company by implementing the better ideas that McNerney put in place, but he did so in a leadership style effort. A leader has most of their focus on people, and Muilenburg implemented these strategies by keeping the people and employees in mind. While McNerney was focused on the organization, Muilenburg was more focused on the people. For example, Muilenburg continued to reduce the union jobs, but softened the process a little by focusing on voluntary buyouts. He also insisted that most technological forward features of the next generation were to be designed and manufactured in-house, which gave appreciation and gratitude to the engineers and employees of Boeing. We can define key characteristics for a manager and a leader as listed on the slide, but your best manager will have a combination of characteristics from both identities. We'll be discussing 4 different types of leadership, which are level 5, servant, authentic, and interactive leadership. And now Richard will continue regarding level 5 leadership.
Thanks, Linda. I had the opportunity to analyze Boeing using level 5 leadership. Level 5 leadership refers to the highest level in a hierarchy of manager capabilities. Mr. McNerney, the CEO of Boeing at the time, took the reins of Boeing when they were going through a high level of uncertainty. They were dealing with conditions, including global financial crises, internal turmoil, and disruptive innovation. So what he did was he came in and he provided disruptive leadership. Disruptive leadership and level 5 leadership requires that candidates have humility, will, accept responsibility for mistakes and failures. They give credit to employees. They have ambitious goals for the organization, and they also mentor and groom a successor who can carry on the strategic plan that they put in place. They also serve the best interest of the organization. Whatever goes on in the organization, or whatever plan that is in place or needs to be in place, they're going to have fierce resolve and make sure that it's completed. I decided to do a report card to show how Mr. McNerney aligned with level 5 leadership and the traits that are required. In terms of humility, he had a complete lack of ego. He battled with the unions, he cut jobs, and he did that despite knowing that he was going to get a lot of feedback. He also mentored his successor, Mr. Mullenberg. This is one of the key components of level 5 leadership, making sure that you have a successor who not only carries on a disruptive innovation, but kind of uses an ambidextrous approach and takes structure from the previous CEO and builds upon it. He also cut jobs, he streamlined production, he did great cost leadership, he outsourced projects, and he basically did an ethical crackdown to restructure culture of Boeing. All of that was in the best interest of the company and led to records in revenue and profit sharing. Mr. McNerney basically embodied, he was basically the epitome of a level 5 leadership and executive function. And he did a great job while he was there, even though the media and a lot of critics gave him feedback for doing what was best in the organization. Next, we'll turn it over to Kyle, who's going to talk about.
Thank you, Richard. Servant leadership has been touted as one of the most important and effective methods for leading an organization, and its benefits include a more engaged and accountable workforce, increased efficiency, and profitability. Servant leaders put the needs of the employees, the organization, and society before their own. They strive daily to do the right things rather than seek their own interests. They often give their time, ideas, power, and recognition. The initiatives of servant leaders can be classified into two distinct areas. One, they help subordinates achieve their goals and aspirations. This might include work-related, personal, or career development interests. And two, they help the organization pursue its mission and vision. Usually leaders with a service-first orientation are generally well-liked within their company, though this is not always the case. Good servant leadership sometimes means making unpopular decisions if those decisions benefit the greater number of employees and the organization as a whole. This is exactly what happened to Boeing's CEO, Jim McNerney, who provided some course redirection for an underperforming aerospace company. By laying off workers and outsourcing certain parts, he sacrificed his image and self-interest to ensure the company would survive for many more years and continue caring for the employees who realized its mission. During McNerney's tenure, Boeing saw great amounts of success and share prices rose to an all-time high. He was ultimately quoted as saying, "The act of leadership is not always comfortable. I didn't try to confront people with their shortcomings. I tried to remind them what made them great and reconnect them to it." In contrast to McNerney, his successor, Dennis Muilenburg, was able to continue the disruptive legacy of his predecessor and provide an even greater level of servant leadership. Muilenburg focused on refreezing the disruptive changes made by McNerney, while at the same time spending more time with employees, listening to their needs and their concerns. Another Boeing leader put it this way: if you're doing to become CEO for your own career or for any reason other than the people that you're surrounded by, this includes family, community, and everyone else, I would argue that you're doing something, but it's not leadership, or it's certainly not effective leadership. Next, Raj will be taking us through authentic leadership.
Thank you, Kyle. For someone to be an authentic leader, they have to be both self-aware and genuine. They are individuals who are aware of their strengths, limitations, and even emotions. What makes them authentic is the fact that they act the same in private as they do in public. They are on an endless journey to being self-actualized leaders who are mission-driven and lead with not only their mind, but also their heart. Jim McNerney became Boeing's chief executive in 2005, and without hesitation, he steered the company directly into the fire. With the digital revolution taking a toll on Boeing's empire, McNerney felt that a gradual transition was not the answer. Being a high-impact manager, McNerney embraced conflict with the intent of bringing Boeing to a level that could compete with the new generation of technology. But he failed to possess the traits of an authentic leader, as he was direct yet without empathy, and that is cruelty to the employees. With his dramatic move to eliminate thousands of jobs and his infamous joke about his employees cowering before him, it was made clear that McNerney did not possess the characteristics necessary to be an authentic leader, and ultimately retired in March 2016. The need for authenticity was apparent, and it seems to have been met by Boeing's current CEO, Dennis Muilenburg. Muilenburg rose through the ranks within the company, starting out as an engineering intern. He is well known for making a point to spend time talking to workers and being an empathetic leader. While he too reduced a number of union jobs, his genuine leadership and focus for the long-term betterment of the company has actually brought more success than dispute. His ability to make cultural readjustments by taking into account employee input and being direct with conflicts, such as President-elect Trump's 2016 threats about canceling Boeing's Air Force One contract, has led Boeing to a record doubling in share price, along with bringing $13.3 billion in operating cash flow. All of these actions clearly fall within the category of authentic leadership. Muhlenberg has remained driven on furthering his company while continuing to be open to both his employees and to the public about his vision. Next, I will talk about interactive leadership.
Interactive leadership in Boeing. While the previous leader, Mr. McNerney, used disruptive leadership, current CEO, Mr. Muhlenberg, is using interactive leadership. Interactive leadership is a leadership style used emotional and social skills such as inclusion, collaboration, relationship building, and caring, rather than command and control. There are three important elements of interactive leadership in Boeing. First, inspire followers. Leaders in Boeing are using empathy to encourage their employees, which can make them work together effectively. Leaders in Boeing are usually trying to create a friendly environment for workers to share their opinions. Leaders in Boeing understand their employees' needs and values. The most important thing for leaders in Boeing is sharing their experience of not only business failure, but also the business success with their employees. In other words, the leaders help employees acquire interpersonal problem-solving skills. Leaders openly empower their employees to overcome the issues they face and delegate the creation and implementation of the solution to them. Second, find the way. Leaders in Boeing are always trying to be aware of everything going on and able to solve every problem that arises. They also put the importance of participation in decision-making, empowerment of their employees, mutuality, and reciprocity in leader-follower relationship, and consensus building. Moreover, they always try to be effective and active listeners and encourage their employees to discuss the uncomfortable issues, and then the leaders find a solution to the issue together. Third, lives the Boeing values. Leaders in Boeing interactively support their employees by helping them realize their goals, are cooperative, trust, and respect each other. And in Boeing, the most important one is cooperation. Leaders in Boeing support each individual employee in words and action, demonstrating warmth and personal acceptance. To be effectively interactive leaders, they reward productive individual and cooperative efforts to develop and attain specific goals and objectives. Next is
Thank you, Ai. Okay, in summary, McNerney was brought in to shake up the organization. The company was floundering in the midst of multiple military procurement scandals. McNerney, an outsider of Boeing, came in as the disruptor, starting his tenure with an ethical crackdown. He then leveraged what he learned at GE and 3M with a series of layoffs, cost-cutting, and outsourcing, all aimed at enhancing production efficiencies. This didn't sit well with employees as they took a lot of pride in in-house engineering and innovation. Having laid off thousands, unions became quite upset with McNerney. And these radical changes still led to increased profits at Boeing, with stock price consistently outperforming the S&P 500. McNerney's successor, Muhlenberg, is handpicked by McNerney, couldn't be more different of a selection. He started his career with the company as an intern and worked his way as an engineer. Muhlenberg continued McNerney's work, but did so in a much different fashion. He engaged his people, often taking time out to talk with all levels of employees. He smoothed out union relations by handling layoffs with buyouts and natural attrition. Additionally, he improved the culture by bringing back production that McNerney outsourced overseas. With strong financial management, stock buyouts, and increased demand, Muhlenberg nearly doubled the company's stock price and was able to give the largest employee bonuses in the company's history. In conclusion, different leadership styles are needed at different times. McNerney came in and disrupted the company, with Muhlenberg smoothing out the turbulence setting the ship. It takes many controls to fly the plane. Turbulence depends on the pilot. I'd like to leave you with two parting thoughts from Jim McNerney. Active leadership is not always comfortable. The leader comes in and reorients and disrupts and is followed by someone who can build on that further and further improve the culture. Everything falls back. Thank you for your time.